my beautiful friends. It's been a while, and I'm sorry. I've had a crazy busy week last week, and then Dave and I went away overnight to celebrate 24 years of us not killing each other. Or, I guess I'm not monetized, so I guess I can say that. But we said in the beginning, one way out. That's 6 feet under. I own a shovel, and so does he. So, anyway, our anniversary is actually tomorrow, but I have to work, and so does he, so we went away. We just went overnight to, last year we went to Scotland. It was really for my birthday, my 50th birthday, but it happened to be also over our anniversary. And we had wanted to do something big in 2020, but we all know how that worked out. So we kind of combined the two events, and we celebrated our 20th anniversary 3 years late last year in Scotland. And next year we're going to try to do something big. I think we're going to go to Vegas and renew our vows with Elvis, because why not? Anyway, who knows what we'll do. It's a whole year betwixt now and then. But anyway, I haven't been on, but while I was away, I didn't take my computer. We went to see trains. That Dave's all into trains and train spotting and toy trains and trains. But since we had done what I wanted to do last year, I felt it was only right to let him. He didn't actually suggest it. I did. A place that that he's wanted to go. He's been there before, but there's this cool bed and breakfast that was closed when he had been there. In fact, he had been there over 30 years ago with a previous girlfriend. So he had wanted to go back and show it to me. It's called Horseshoe Curve, and it's in Altoona. So I found the bed and breakfast he was talking about, and it has since opened up under a new owner. It's amazing. I'll put a link below if you're ever in Altoona, Pennsylvania. It's a great place to stay. There's only 4 rooms, so there's 3 others, and each room only has, can fit 2 people. So at the most, you have like the caretakers, Bob and Deb, who are amazing. And then, there's 8 of you. So there's 10 people total at all. And it's all like old geeky people like that are into trains, right? So it was really cool. And I'm always interested in anything I'm doing. So I don't know anything about trains, so I got to ask a lot of questions. But the trains literally run right by the bed and breakfast, and you can stand outside, and he's got a big deck that you can watch him. And, Dave's listed off what they are, and I'm like, I have no idea, but I played my pipes. That was cool, because it is also the 1-year anniversary of our trip to Scotland when we went last year. So it was just a great weekend. And then, so I've been really lucky. I feel like I should go play the lottery, because on our way out on Saturday, we stopped at I used a thing called Road Trippers. It's an app, and it'll tell you like different things that are along the path. And I always try to find a place to eat that's we try really hard not to eat at commercial places. Like, we try to eat at local places. So I looked for a diner on the way, and we found this really great diner that was fantastic. I had a Jiffy burger. It's just a burger with peanut butter on it. It came with pickles, but I have to be in the mood for pickles, and I don't like pickles on my food. I like them all on their own. So it was really great. But anyway, they have like one of those lottery card machines. So I got a lottery card, and I won $3. So I was like so excited, because I never win those scratchies. But somebody in the comments and the reviews had said, oh, and get a ticket, because they had won $5. And I was like, oh, well, I'll try that. And I won $3. Then to find out that some of my sisters here have been doing giveaways. I did a giveaway. And I won 2 different giveaways, and of course I did, because I didn't have my computer with me and there's really not great reception where we were, so I couldn't figure out what I won. But I won a box from 2 different people, so that's so exciting, and I'm so appreciative, and how great. And so and then before I left, I had gone to a basket social for a fundraiser for one of our local fire companies. I went with my son, and we won a $10 gift card for the bookstore, the one used bookstore that's around here, and I gave that to my son, of course. But that was pretty exciting too. So lots of luck, lots of good wishes. I did pull runes while I was gone about our marriage, and we have a very strong marriage. Like, Dave and I are best friends. We have an unconventional marriage in terms of what everybody in the world thinks of when they think of marriage and things like that. We do our own thing. We have our own thing going on, and it has worked. We're together 26 years, so it works, right? And like, I travel alone, if you know. I travel alone, mostly because he's not interested in flying. He he jumped out of airplanes in the military, but he's not afraid of flying. He just hates all the rules that go along with TSA and all that. So he prefers to drive everywhere, which is great. And he's retired and certainly can commit to 2 weeks to drive out, to the West Coast. I work, so I don't have that luxury of time to do that. So like if we're gonna do a road trip, and we have done a few cross-country road trips, I really have to plan the time, and of course I don't have any time because I used it all for FMLA. So so I travel alone. Like we have very separate hobbies. Like he's into fishing and trains and cars. I am not interested in any of those things. He is not interested in hiking, backpacking, or bagpipes. So he doesn't do that. I go to a lot of like ballet and like concerts, like orchestras and stuff like that. He doesn't do any of that with me. So I have some friends that I do that with. If I have to have a male companion or a female companion, it doesn't matter to me. I take other people, or I go alone. I do a lot of things alone. My older son really likes movies. I used to go to movies by myself because really, if I go to a movie with Dave, I'm just paying $25 for him to sleep, because he'll sleep right through it. And part of it's because he has very significant hearing loss from the Army. He does wear hearing aids, but movies, they don't capture his attention, and he goes right to sleep. So for the longest time, I would go by myself. But now my son, I have to go to the movies he wants to see, and then I have to wait for mine to come out on video. But anyway, it was so I pulled runes, and it was a great reminder that we have a really strong relationship. It's based on trust. We don't get caught up in things a lot of other couples get caught up into. We don't get caught up into that kind of stuff. So it's all good. So today's message will be our message for the week, and this may not resonate with you. This is my Rune Stone, which I pulled 1 year ago. I got that on the beach, and this is the one I bought in the store. I bought these runes in Scotland, in Inverary. I went there because I didn't really know where to go, when I was planning the trip, because I planned it myself, didn't use a tour guide. And my favorite pipe band is Inverary District, because I really like their pipe major, and so I went to Inverary. And when I looked at the map, I went to Glencoe. We went to other places too, but I was like, well, that seems to be on this route that I'm taking, so let's go there. All right, so just have a rune for the energy for the week. Something's in there. Oh, I know. There she is. Come here. I heard her in there. Bridget Coin. Okay. So, Spirit gave us one. And it's so funny. I saw all kinds of signs from my parents this weekend. I've been asking Spirit, because I really feel like my parents haven't been around me. And my father, I went to see my cousin today. My cousin that I was closest to growing up was my mother's brother's children. And his wife left him with the children and moved to the other side of the state, which is where Altoona is from us. And so I didn't get to grow up with them then. And we had gone from seeing them all of the time to never seeing them, really, except for weddings and funerals. And so I stopped in to see my cousin because he had a health scare, and he's a young guy, he's my age, and he had a really bad COVID / pneumonia / other RSV, all kinds of stuff. And so I wanted to see him, and he lives right by there. So I was just really reminded of my family. My father had a I'm going to forget the name of the car, a very special kind of car, which I cannot remember the name of. And we were talking about it because it was in the garage of the house that my parents had, and it was his first car, and his new wife wouldn't let him restore it, and as was a Rambler. Which you don't see those around, even in classic cars. You don't see those Ramblers around anywhere. And my father loved that car, and he wanted to restore it, and his new wife didn't allow for that. And as we're driving away from my cousin's house, don't we see a beautiful cherry red restored Rambler? How freaky is that? My symbol for my mother is I don't want to say it because I don't want my computer algorithm to hear me and then start showing it to me. This was a doll that was popular when I was little. My mother hand sewed one for me and her brother, and I had those, and whenever I see them, I think of her. And as we were driving into the driveway to my cousin's also a mechanic, and they have a ton of cars, we have a ton of cars, and it's like something just like fell out of the ceiling of the car, of our Jeep. My mother-in-law broke the handle, and it just fell like right by me, like a loud bang, like we're here with you, like we are here with you, and we're so excited that you're all together. So it was just great to see my family, and really great to have signs and symbols of my parents. All right, so for the week, what should we think about? My hand in here. You seem like you want to come. No, no, no. You seem like kind of. Oh no, one fell on the floor. That's the one that wants to come out. I'll be right back. Where'd you go? It's all the way down there. I'll be right back. Hopefully you didn't see my butt like raising in the air. Jera, it just cycles, right? And I always think about this stone, and I'll read what it means, but I do programming, and if you know anything about programming, you know that you have to, the statements have to be in the brackets, right? You know, and like an infinite loop happens because, and programs break down because you haven't closed the loop, right? And so that kind of reminds me, every time I see that stone, I'm reminded of that. You know, things come full circle. Things, you know, they need a beginning. They need their proper, you know, whatever is going to happen, and then they need to be closed. And that's what needs to happen. And that's a positive thing, right? But let's look at Jera in here so you can get some words. It was cool watching trains. I mean, he's really into them, and it was really more of a gift for him because, you know, like, I always want him to know, like, his hobbies are cool. Like, he puts up a lot. They had this huge flea market today, and he and my son love flea markets. I don't need more crap in my house. I bought some books, but, you know, like, he just loves to look at all the fishing rods and then all the tools. I mean, like, we have two garages. We have a race car garage and we have a regular garage, and they're both filled with tools. Because but then I'm like, I have 4 million candles. We went to a Barnes & Noble last night, and which is always a favorite thing. We always go to Walmart because I always forget something, which I did. I will admit to you, on the internet, I forgot to pack underwear. So I had to go buy underwear. So, and then he's like, well, let's go to Barnes & Noble too. I'm like, well, that'll save the day. So they had candles on sale, and they're the refillable glass ones that I can, like, burn them, and then I can remake more candles with them. So, I love that. So, yeah. All right, Jera. Cycles completion changes. It's been a year since I've been in Scotland, so. Reaping rewards, reap what you sow, good or bad. The good, bad reward you deserve. Coming into something better, new beginning. Fertile season, prosperity and success. Well, all the winnings of the winnings. I never win anything. It's like, I need to go to Atlantic City real quick. Act with wisdom. Store energy for the winter of life. Completion of a cycle or project. All 4 seasons. Don't expect fast results. Trust time. And this is like my favorite statement. You can't make a river run faster. So it's really like, you know, just go with the flow. And I think, you know, when I look at my friends and their relationships and how they succeed or fail, it's because folks wanted to push things too fast, or they didn't act quickly enough. And relationships are a lot of work, right? And you really have to understand the person that you're with. And how do I put this? Don't fall prey to societal expectations about what your relationship should be, right? So, you know, religion often makes people feel guilty, like the woman's supposed to, you know, both my mother and Dave's mother are both at-home moms. that was a lot of pressure for me because they're like, well, I'm like, well, if I don't work, we don't eat because I'm the breadwinner in our family. So, we were just talking about this today. Like, I did not want to take his last name. I wanted to keep my own because all of my degrees are in my name, and I worked really hard and I put myself through school. So, like, I'm very proud of myself, and I was the only person up to that point who had gone to college in my mom's family. So I'm the only woman who graduated from high school and went to college. So I was really proud of myself, and I wanted to have my own name, and, there was so much pressure, and so I decided to hyphenate, which is a huge pain in the ass, by the way, because the Social Security Administration does not recognize hyphens. And if I had to do it all over again, I'd be like Pound Sand. I'm not doing it. Make me. Make me. But when you're young, you feel like you have to follow this stupid, outdated advice. I mean, I think it's different now for young women, but, back then, especially for both of us who came from religious families, very Catholic, very Christian families, there was this expectation. And I was fortunate because as a teaching professor, I could pick my classes around my kids' schedules. So, while they were coming up, I could pick classes, at different times that really worked with their schedule. So I got to do, like, mom stuff with the kids and, go into school and do school stuff with them and all that, and go to sports games and all that. And, band, a lot of band stuff. And, but I feel like relationships work or don't work because of other people's expectations that then become your expectations. And we've just worked out a great formula of not giving a flying fudge about what people think. We give no fudges over what people think about what we do or how we do it. We don't ask permission. We don't tell people what we do. Even this weekend, we were supposed to go next weekend, but I have another commitment. And, we got a little bit of heat. And like, well, how come you're going now? Because I'm a grown-ass adult and I'm paying for it myself? That's why. Because I can. I'm an adult. I can do what I want. I don't have to ask you for permission. Look at that. So, whatever relationship you have with your partner, it's your relationship. Other people don't need to know your stuff. Other people don't need to give you permission to live the way you want to live. You have to work with your spirit guides, within your, with your higher power, and you do the things that make sense to you and make sense for you as a couple. All right, let's just pull some cards. Pull from this deck. So our stone was Jera, which is a great stone to start the new year of our marriage. And, we road trip well together, and we don't always have to be together, which I think I like. I don't like to be with anybody that much, to be honest. I like to be with a lot of people. I've said this before, I'd rather be in front of 500,000 people than in a group of 10. But of the people I can tolerate, he's one of them. Because I can be myself. I don't have to, fake who I am. Not that I'm ever faking who I am. I'm never faking who I am. But, obviously I'm very reserved, in different spaces, but I can be who I am. I think the only frustration is that because he can't hear, we were talking about this, he had to go to a fancy dinner with me, and he doesn't typically go to fancy dinners with me. But my friend who does go to fancy dinners with me couldn't make it, and these tickets are outrageously priced, and I had to go because it was a work-related thing. And usually I will ask my college roommate to go with me because she likes fancy dinners, but she was already going. So I had this extra ticket, and I'm like, dude, you're going to have to go because I spent $100 on this ticket, so you're going to have to go. And so he's like, okay, I'll go. And, he put his nice shirt on, and, he was a biker, so his nice shirt collection is, but he wore his nice leather coat and not his biker leather coat. And we would go. Now, because he's so hard of hearing, I can't just, lean over and make comments. And I'm witty, in case you couldn't tell. And so I always have comments. So I'm texting them to him. I'm texting him the comments. Don't look at your phone now. We'll talk about it in the car later. But this is what I would be saying to you if you could hear me. There was 7 courses. And the very first course, it came out on a plate. And it looked like cat food. Like canned cat food. It kind of tasted like cat food, too. Not that I have any experience with that, but I've given my cats food, and it smelled like that. And if he could have heard me, I would have leaned over and went, meow. So I miss that kind of thing, because I can't really do that with him. Like, if you're in a restaurant and somebody's like, acting like an absolute jackass, right? And you want to be like, look at those people over there, like, what a jackass. I can't say it because it would have to be like, hey, Dave, look at those people being a jackass. Like, you'd have to be so loud. So my wit falls on deaf ears, and sometimes that's frustrating. But other than that, I mean, that's, did I shuffled already. Now it's time to get some cards, shall we? See what Spirit has to say. Go with the Jera. All right, pass one. Pass two. It flipped right out at me. All right, pass three. Ugh. I'll do one more pass because I feel like that one might have been impeded by my hands. Okay, no, nothing. Okay. All right, so we got one card. And it is Sacred Waters. Deep Healing Emotions Pilgrimage. And I think relationships are a pilgrimage of sorts, right? This is the journey. This is the person you've decided to go on a journey with. And, no relationship is perfect. So when people tell you that, they're full of crap. I get frustrated a lot because I've always had to carry the burden of our financial commitments. I've always had to be breadwinner because I'm very motivated. I'm over-motivated. I've always been super motivated. And Dave's just not that way. He's not as motivated as I am. And until he retired, that was very frustrating. Now he's retired, he gets a military benefit, so it's not as bad, but it was always like, I had to be the mom, I had to pay the bills, I had to do all the things, I had to pay, I had to be the one working. I was working 3 jobs, I still work 3 jobs. I had to do, like, consulting, and I had to do all this stuff, and he's going fishing with his friends, and that's not fair. And it wasn't fair to me, it's still not fair to me, but, it is what it is. And, you just have to let it go, because there's other positive things, like, I could, I can call him in the middle of the night because I, dropped well, not call him because he's home, but like if I would, I don't know, drop a glass ball or something in the middle of the night, I could wake him up and he would clean it up because he knows I wouldn't be able to see it, and he wouldn't get mad about that, right? Like, so there's, things that come and go. We're not jealous people. We don't get jealous over people. Most of my friends, I have more female friends now because of YouTube, but I grew up with all boys, so I have mostly male friends, and he has mostly female friends. So we don't get jealous about that. There's just not jealousy there, and so there's good and bad, right? But we've raised 2 amazing boys. We've been Team Julian and Team David, since they were born, especially Julian, who's disabled. We've always been Team Julian, and, it's a ride. It's been a good one, and hopefully it'll continue to be good. Hindsight's always 20/20, but I'm very, very blessed. I'm very grateful to Spirit, grateful that my parents came around to say happy anniversary to us, and it was a great weekend, and I'm looking forward to a great week. I have a huge busy week this week, so I'll try to get on here, but I'm booked with a huge thing going on at work, which gets resolved this week. I can't wait. And then I will have more free time and more sanity probably too. So this is a long video. I'm sorry if you're still here. Thank you for staying with me. Just blabbering on because I haven't been here with you. I am wishing you all the best in light and love. Have an amazing week. Bye-bye.